My topic for today is the gift on giving, really. Um, what they say about giving on to people who need help. Um, Obviously, they say, the more you give, the more you receive. And there's a lot of truth in that. Giving doesn't only necessarily have to mean giving money, it could also mean giving your time, could mean giving your whatever that you have to do, you know, for someone else. If there's so many different meanings, despite money or time, but I'm sure you know what I mean, right? ah, anyway, I wrote here: if you give with the wrong attitude, you receive the wrong seed, which means obviously whatever you give onto other people, that's what will happen to you. So obviously, if you're giving with a bad attitude, then you're going to receive, which kind of complements the way you've given that. Like, you can't expect to, give someone like, here you go, and expect them to like be like, you know, oh, thank you very much. No, they're going to be like, they'll obviously have a bad mind about you, and they probably wouldn't want to help you in the future. So what's the point of that? In Leviticus 22, you turn to your Bibles. If you have one, try and get one. 22 verses 21, it says, and whoever offers a sacrifice of a peace offering to the Lord to fulfill his vow, or a free will offering from the cattle or the sheep, it must be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no defect in it. That's just going along with what I'm saying, in the sense of when you're giving, obviously here it's referring to giving to God. It must be perfect, which means there shouldn't be any, you know, um, bad mind giving. Like, does that even make sense? In a sense, sorry, like, obviously give your best all the time, no matter what it is, no matter who it's to. Here, obviously, is referring to God. Obviously, when you want to give to God, you want to make sure He's happy with what you're giving. So basically, when you're giving to other people, make sure you give to the extent of how you would want someone to give back to you. If we can turn to Psalms 126. Psalm 126 verse 6, it says, he who continually goes forth weeping, bearing seed for sowing, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. That basically means, obviously, those who continue to, like, bear good seeds, sow good seeds, sorry, no doubt will you receive good things, that you have nothing other than to rejoice and be happy, because obviously good things are coming back to you. And I don't really necessarily feel that when you give to other people, or you do good to them, that you get straight away. Sometimes, God tends to repay you back in times that you don't even expect it to happen. Like, even you might have even forgotten what you've done years ago, but somehow He will just repay you back when it's needed, if that makes sense. And you probably wouldn't even realize that it's because of that good thing you did 2 years ago, and now it's showing itself by maybe a random person coming give you money, or I don't know, but there's just different ways that God shows His appreciation when He feels that it's appropriate for you. So don't ever feel like, oh, I gave and I didn't receive it today. Like, it doesn't work like parcel force or Royal Mail. Like, you send it and then obviously you receive whatever when it's supposed to be. No, it happens in God's time. God's time is the best, y'all. But sorry. I'm in a silly mood today. Um, this is a good one. Said God will use the people you don't like to help you. This one is annoying because I know there's times, I'm not going to state any names, but there's times where you just feel, I want to block this person out. Do you know what I mean? No, you shouldn't have the attitude. That's really stank. God can use anyone, you know, to give you your blessings, to show you in the right direction you should go. God can use even your enemy, as in your enemy. Someone, if you see you, even look away, you run away. Do you know what I mean? Never shut anyone down, because God might be using that person as a vessel. He might have even assigned that person to be bad to you, in a sense, to kind of test you sometimes. You know, that's unfortunately that's how it is. You know, my mom always used to tell me, you know, never block someone out completely out of your life. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know why that person's in your life in the first place. You know, God introduced that person to you for a reason, whether it might be for good or bad. But you know, it's like if we look back at Judas now, Judas was one of the disciples, you know, and as much as I don't want to say like God made him bad, but without Judas, like basically Judas, you know, he needed to do that in order to betray Jesus, so that the people could find out, you know, who Jesus, who the betrayal of Jesus. You know what I'm talking about, but you know, that was Judas's role, you know. So God, Jesus knew from day that Judas was going to betray him. Do you know what I mean? But he never said, "Oh, look, you're not one of my disciples anymore because I know you're going to betray me in like a couple of days' time." No, he didn't do that. He knew that he was going to do that, but he still accepted him. He still let him eat with him and everything. So, you know, basically, what I'm just trying to say, cut the long story short, is that Jesus could use anybody. Don't block anyone from your life unless they just really, you know, chose to go off and whatever. But don't you purposely cut people off. That's why that's why it's also important to forgive people, because you don't know why they're in that situation or why they're behaving the way they do. Even me, I'm not perfect. I have days where I can be very oversensitive and just want to block people out, but that's not the way of life. That's not the way you should be. You know, no one's perfect at the end of the day, even though we believe that we are, but we're not. You know, the other person might be thinking you're in the wrong, and you're thinking that person's in the wrong. Do you know what I mean? So there's always two sides to every story. But anyway, I don't want to like go off key here. So, yeah. If we can turn to Deuteronomy chapter 12. Your presence living in me. Love this song. You are my daily bread. Okay, love gospel by the way. Deuteronomy 12:13 says, "Take heed to yourself that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every place that you see, but in the place which the Lord chooses in one of your tribes. There you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do that I command you." That's Deuteronomy chapter 13 to 14. What I can gather from this, you know, I think it's also to do with what I just said in the sense of, you know, God will destine you to, you know, do a certain offering or sow a seed at a certain place that you may not understand why, but He knows, because God knows everything. Do you know what I mean? He knows the beginning and the end, so He knows the reason why He's destined you where you are, the people that you're with. Do you know what I mean? So don't forget that. I wrote here, he who gives to the poor you are lending to God. When you do good to others, you're doing that also for God, which kind of speaks for itself. So never look down on someone who's in a you know, a lower opportunity than you. Always offer help. Just basically kind of do what, you know, Jesus would do in that situation, whatever you're in. Just give that. Just make every opportunity that you can every day to do good to others. Even if it's just smiling, you know. You know, back in the day, I had this issue with people staring at me. I still kind of do sometimes, but I just, you know, what I'll do then, I'll just like give them a screw face back, like what kind of thing. But then I realized, why am I doing that? Like, what's that gonna gain? Do you know what I mean? They might be looking at me because they like my hair or something. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to always think negative of other people. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Just try and be peaceful. Try and keep the peace going. Whatever you can do. You know, treat everyone the way you want to be treated. I know it's easier said than done sometimes. So some people just really provoke you, but I think the best thing to do is just try and keep calm, be slow to anger as well. I know I had some anger issues, like seriously, I can get vexed, you know, but just trying to control myself now. And you realize that when you control yourself, keep calm, that it kind of settles the issue. Like when you're, it's like, you know, that kind of saying when you're, what was it, treating like mad people with kindness kind of thing, it always kind of seems to calm them down, even though they don't want to be calm. They're like, ah, and you're like, everything's gonna be alright. And they're like, ah, ah. They kind of forget why they're angry. So anyway, I don't know what that's got to do with anything I'm saying. But anyway, if we can turn to, yeah, basically what I wanted to also say is that when you're doing good to other people, you're also doing it for God. Some of you might be thinking, how you're doing it for God, that's not God. But if you think by it, God lives in each and every one of us. We represent God. We represent Him. So if you're being good to another person, it's like saying you're doing good. You're doing that for God also. You know. So try and keep that in mind when you're, you know, talking badly of other people or whatever you do. Just think about it in your head that, you know, that's what you're doing to God as well. So also if we can turn to Proverbs chapter 3. Chapter 9 says, honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first fruits of all your increase, which means obviously, you know, honor God by always giving him what you've earned. So let's just say, for instance, if you work, you earn a good whatever wage, always try and give God at least 10% of what you make to kind of show that you appreciate him. But at the end of the day, you got that job because of God. So the least you could do is show him your appreciation by saying, look, God, thank you for giving me this opportunity to have what I have. Doesn't even have to mean about your job, could be anything. But always just, you know, show that appreciation that he does look into your heart. So even if you're giving and you're not giving with a good mind, he's taking note of that. So try and do that as well. 2 Corinthians 2 Corinthians chapter 9 says, so let each one give as he purposes in his heart, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loves a cheerful giver. That speaks for itself as well.